Economic performance of Pakistan. Pakistan making headlines for its failing economy. Fifth most populous country on earth is having problems feeding its population, the consequences of which could have global implications. What is the state of Pakistan's economy? We'll cover all of this in detail in this video. Real GDP growth measures inflation-adjusted growth of an economy over a one-year period. The economy of Pakistan, or gross domestic product, grew by 0.29% only according to figures released in May 2023 by Finance Division of Pakistan. Pakistan's economy grew in real terms. It did not go into recession, but the growth rate was very modest. Compared to previous years, this was a very low growth rate. Real GDP growth rate is considered one of the most important metrics of any economy, measuring the overall well-being improvement of citizens of any country. Low improvement rates, in a country that already houses a very large poor population, is certainly concerning. Inflation rate, or CPI, measures the general price level increase of goods and services in an economy over a one-year period. Pakistan's inflation rate was 38%, according to figures released in May 2023 by Pakistan Bureau of Statistics. This is very high. It means overall prices in Pakistan rose by 38% in a year. This is the highest rate of inflation in Pakistan's history, and nothing close to it was reached since the 1970s. High inflation leads to a sharp decrease in the purchasing power of citizens. It also reduces the real value of savings. Unemployment rate measures the percentage of population that is able and willing to work but cannot find work. Pakistan's unemployment rate is 7% in 2023, according to IMF. This is high. The average unemployment rate in Pakistan was 5.72% from 1986 to 2021. Rising unemployment rate can be indicative of a slowing economy and an impending recession, as it means businesses are laying off workers. Consumption in the economy also slows down due to unemployment or risk of unemployment for citizens. Pakistan's debt-to-GDP ratio was 89% in December 2022, according to State Bank of Pakistan. This indicates that the total debt of a country is equivalent to 89% of its GDP. Debt level is high but not too high compared to Pakistan's standards. From 1994 to 2022, Pakistan's average debt-to-GDP ratio was 72.46%, whereas its all-time high debt-to-GDP ratio was 94%. It is important to note, however, that debt-to-GDP ratio has risen sharply after 2018. A high debt-to-GDP ratio also leads to higher interest payments on debt, restricting fiscal space of an economy. Creditors also feel uneasy and have to be compensated with high interest rates on future debt. Pakistan's fiscal deficit to GDP ratio was 7.9% in December 2022, according to State Bank of Pakistan. This indicates the percentage difference between a government's total expenditures and its total revenue during one-year period. It represents the amount by which government spending exceeds its revenue, leading to a deficit that needs to be financed through borrowing. However, 7.9% deficit is nothing new if one looks at Pakistan's historical fiscal deficits. Pakistan's economy is already highly indebted. Further fiscal deficits may accumulate more debt. Pakistan's current account deficit to GDP ratio was 0.7% in June 2023, according to SIEC. This means that the country imports more than it exports. As a result, it has to bridge the gap with its foreign exchange reserves or borrow from foreign sources. This deficit is small, but so are Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves. Current account deficits put pressure on a country's currency, leading to currency depreciation, as the demand for foreign currencies gets higher, in comparison with local currency, as imports have to be paid for. Pakistan's large-scale manufacturing experienced a contraction of 8.11% from July to March 2023, according to Finance Division. Down from a growth of 10.6% in the same period last year, meaning that the output of manufacturing sector experienced a major decline. This is likely to increase unemployment in the country. Pakistan's investment to GDP ratio is 13.6% in 2023, according to Finance Division. This means that the total investment made in an economy, including both public and private investment, is equal to 13.6% of the country's GDP. This ratio is used to assess the level of investment relative to the size of the economy. Compared to last year's ratio of 15.6%, investment has taken a hit this year. The ratio indicates the proportion of economic output that is being channeled into investment activities. Investments contribute to the accumulation of physical capital, such as infrastructure, machinery, and equipment, which is essential for fostering economic growth and development. A higher investment to GDP ratio generally indicates a greater potential for economic growth in the future. Increased investment can lead to increased productivity, job creation, and overall economic expansion. Pakistan's income per capita is $1,568 in 2023, according to Finance Division. This means that the average income GDP of a country is $1,568 per person. It has fallen from $1,765 per person last year. The income per capita is often used as an indicator of the standard of living of the population. We'll cover more economies that are similar to Pakistan in our upcoming videos.